Well, it is now time for Off the Shelf Books with none other than Miss Jennifer Washington. Hello, Miss Jennifer.
Well, hello, Reverend Green. How you doing?
I'm never being careful, and you?
You know, they used to say, you got to be more careful.
That's it right there.
I want to thank you so much for holding it down for me today. I want to say good afternoon, Milwaukee, and my Facebook page, listeners and viewers. I am all the way in Hampton, Virginia.
Wow.
Yes.
How's the weather down there?
It is actually very sunny. It's warm. I am here because my youngest son is attending Hampton University, and he just crossed over yesterday. He is officially a Phi Beta Sigma man.
Uh-oh.
I know he
The
did.
blue and white. He got his cane?
Blue and white, and you know what? I got all the blue and white on. I'm telling you. And I want to give a shout out to him. We are talking about our youngest son, Destin Amir McMurray. He is now an official Phi Beta Sigma man. So proud of him. So is our oldest son, McMurray Jr., and our daughter, Shalisa McMurray Moultrie. And our oldest daughter is the AKA Dr. Lakita L. McMurray Emmanuel. So, you know, we bring it like that.
Well, my nephew's a singer.
Oh, is he?
Yes. You might know him. His name is Richard Lewis.
Well, hey, Richard, all right. So, we have a wonderful time down here, but you know that I can't miss Off the Shelf Book Club.
Off the Shelf.
We have such a wonderful guest in the house. It's a gentleman after my own heart. I'm so grateful to have him there. He is originally from Milwaukee. It's the one, the only, Mr. Malcolm McCrae. Hello, Brother Malcolm.
Hey, how you doing, sister?
I am doing wonderful because I know that the information that you are going to share today is going to transform lives.
Yes.
And that's what I am all about, transforming lives, empowering people. And we're going to be talking about your list. It's about called The Art of Success. 10 steps to transform your life. Is that right?
That is right. First of all, just thank you for having me on your incredible show, Jennifer. I'm definitely a fan of yours, and I listen in all the time. So just thank you for having me, and I'm so honored to be here.
Well, Malcolm, I always like to talk about how I get to meet authors, and you just hilarious, okay? The way you and I met,
yes, ma'am.
It was a little less than a year ago, and I was hosting what's called the Author's Lounge.
Right.
So remember that?
Yes, ma'am. I definitely do remember
With
that.
my girl, Shatina Gladden, so we got to give out a shout to Shatina Gladden.
Shout out to Shantina. I just seen her earlier today at another get-together, so shout out to the queen.
Well, awesome, and to the whole PMI crew.
Yes.
And I know that she's listening.
Yes.
But she was having her event, right, for entrepreneurs and business people, things like that. And she asked me to host an Author's Lounge, where I had a wonderful opportunity to have different authors in the lounge, and we featured their books that they were writing. We had some wine and cheese. It was just a really nice event. But you was on the outside, Malcolm. You was in another area. What happened?
Well, you know, make a long story short, it's all about opportunity. Shantina asked me to be able to come. I came all the way up from Missouri to join her incredible event. And, you know, I was doing some vending and different things. And I guess I wasn't in the right place at the right time. But, you know, God works in incredible ways. So I was able to come on in. And I almost kind of like, you know, took it over a little bit. I had to move people out the way. And we made
I'm waiting for you to tell the truth and shame the devil, because trying to be like, oh, you know, when it's opportunity, you got the Lord all in it. But the truth of it is you both got in my lounge.
I wouldn't say broke art. You know, I'm a Milwaukeean, so I'm always looking for opportunity. It was a great opportunity. I just kind of slid in there a little bit. Just slid
in there, and we are so glad that you did, though, because
yes, ma'am.
you are a phenomenal young man, and I'm just so very glad to have you in my life. And so let's just tell Milwaukee a little bit about who is Malcolm.
Okay, who is Malcolm McCrae? So, my name is Malcolm McCrae, also known as the Airbrush Assassin. I'm born and raised in Milwaukee. I'm an 80s baby, and I am pretty much an offspring of just growing up here in Milwaukee. I grew up on the north side, grew up in the community of a lot of powerful black people, and throughout my career, I've always had incredible entrepreneurs in my life, great mentors, and I'm just so honored to be able to have an opportunity to be able to come back home and share my message. But Malcolm McCrae is an artist. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm an educator. I travel all across the country showing people how to find the ultimate version of themselves by finding their talent, finding their passion, and so on. But, you know, my beginnings started here in Milwaukee. I used to own a airbrush t-shirt shop on 38th and North Avenue with my father. And some of y'all probably know me. I started off in the Milwaukee Mall, you know, and I was a kid. And went to the Milwaukee High School of the Arts, and you know, just been grinding here in the city. And my vision and my passion and my family's vision and passion is always been built around creativity. My father is his name is Bankole. He was an art teacher here at the Boys and Girls Club in Hillside, and I really just kind of fell in love with art. And my father, throughout the years, created a company where he screen printed T-shirts for family reunions. We probably did half of the city's family reunion T-shirts. So, you know, throughout that transition in life, I've been able to be blessed enough just to be able to see talent at a young age, use my talent as a gift to be able to grow a thriving business. And throughout that transition, my mother passed. I'm the oldest out of 5 kids. And I found myself in just a rough situation at an early age in my life. And throughout that transition, one of the things that has been consistent in my life is creativity. So, like I said, I'm born and raised in Milwaukee. Always been a very creative young person, always, you know, doing art on tennis shoes and different things. And just been able to be blessed enough to have great opportunities and great mentors in my life here locally to help me grow as a successful artist, author, and speaker. So
I'm a Malcolm, you are a dynamic speaker. Hearing you talk right now, I feel energized. I'm Milwaukee. I know you hear the energy through this young man's voice. You are just passionate and on fire. We can hear it. And also what I kind of feel and understand is that really the art saved your life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Without art and creativity, I wouldn't be here to this day. You know, a lot of times we as black people, we don't really understand our value as creative individuals. So at a young age, I realized that I wanted to be an artist. I didn't really know any artists. I didn't know anybody that could kind of show me how to be a visual artist. So like I said, I was blessed enough just to be around a lot of creative individuals. One of my great mentors is a brother that he lives in Atlanta now, but his name is Sajifo, and he's a jeweler. And I remember after school, I would come work with him, and I was probably like around 12 years old, and I realized that, you know, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And at different parts of my life, creativity, entrepreneurship, and my talent has always kind of stepped in there and saved me. For instance, when I was younger, I found myself homeless. Me, my dad, and my brother lived in Columbus, Ohio for about 3 years. And I called it my rites of passage, where I was going from boyhood into manhood. And I deal with a lot of youth, and I do mentorship, and I show them and I teach them about this thing of rites of passage. When boys are around 12 years old, around 10 years old, you know, your mama can't really tell you nothing. You know, that's a lot of the times when you need that father to be able to come in and help you out. And my father ended up raising me and my brother in Columbus, Ohio, and we were homeless, guys. I remember the first time that I realized that things were tough is my mother always loved my art. She always gave an opportunity to be able to do art and creativity. But it was one problem and one issue. And her number one rule is like, you can do all your art and your creativity and tag on things, but you better not tag on none of the walls in my house. That was one of her number one rules. So
I think many mothers can identify with that, but go on.
Definitely. So she definitely always supported me, and my mother was a very generous woman. She always had friends of hers that were going through problems and issues that would come stay with us. So our house was always crowded with young people and people, you know, in general. So I remember this one day. I'm an 80s baby, so I love hip hop. I'm watching like MTV raps. I'm into Tupac. I'm watching all of the rappers wearing, you know, the Big Daddy Kane wearing the overalls with the airbrushing on it, and I'm loving it. But I didn't really have a studio. My mom used to let me paint in the basement. And like I said, her number one rule is like, you can paint on your brothers and them stuff. You can paint on your own clothes, but you better not paint on no walls in my house. And I'm feeling myself this one day. And
oh my God.
You already know, as a mother, you already know. So I'm feeling myself one day, and she don't never come in the basement, and I don't know what brought her to the basement.
So you think,
I think
as a child, she is not going to come in the basement.
She ain't gonna come down there. She ain't gonna. She come down there to wash clothes a little bit, but my little area was way in the back. She ain't gonna come down there.
Okay, so what happened is?
So I'm watching, I'm feeling myself, and I'm tagging my little name. Please don't tweet this. Like, my little name was Chaos, right? It was Chaos, right? So I tagged my little name in the corner, and you know, a day go by, 2 days go by. One day I'm coming home from school, and my mother was always cooking, so I'm coming home giving her a kiss. Hey, Mom. She's like, go to your room. So I go to my room. And like I said, my mother always had people staying with us. So it was some bags, you know, some luggage in the room. So I'm like, okay, somebody going to come stay the night for a couple of days. So I go downstairs and say, Mom, who's staying the night? She's like, ain't nobody staying the night. You leaving to go live with your dad. And she said, you know what my number one rule was? No graffiti, no stuff on my walls. And she sent me to go live with my dad in Columbus, Ohio. And I had my airbrush equipment with me, and that changed my life.
Okay, okay. You know, even out of trials and tribulations, we can find our purpose and our passion.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I love your story, and I really thank you for sharing all of it, because there's so many different dimensions, you know, of it. I mean, some of it, you know, happy, some is kind of sad, some is scary. Like, why would you do that now? It was only one rule.
Right.
At the same time, everything you put in there makes you who you are today. Definitely. And you are using all of those experiences help others to find their passion.
Exactly.
Miss Jennifer.
Yes.
I just realized who he was. See, he had dread.
Yeah, I did.
You know, I started my church 14 years ago,
Yep.
and he made me some T-shirts.
I did.
I remember him on North Avenue.
Yes,
they
sir.
were red and white, had Coca-Cola on the front. Matter of fact, I still have the T-shirts with Another Chance on it. And I looked at him when he came in. I couldn't figure out where I knew him. But when he started talking to you, it started falling into place. And they had a little young girl with special needs.
Yep. And my sister Omotayo. Yep.
And then all y'all used to take care of you and your dad and him.
Yep.
And his story goes on and on.
Yes, it does.
Now his hair is cut off. He don't have dreads no more.
A little bit more. Grew up a little bit.
That's in the book on page 12.
And I'm so glad that you remembered that, Reverend Green, and everything.
Yes.
You know, so you also are a witness of his testimony and the work that he does, and how he gives back, not only to his family, but to the community, right?
Yeah, he gave back to me.
And gave back to you.
Yes, he did. He gave me a great deal, because we were up and starting church.
Right. I remember
we didn't have that many people. We only needed about maybe 25 shirts. And he gave us a great deal on the shirts.
Yes, sir.
And I still have mine.
Wow.
I still have mine. I don't know about everybody.
Well, but you see how just small things can make a lifelong difference. And
but one of the things that impressed me so much was the way that the family took care of the sister that had special needs.
Yeah.
As he was printing, he was taking care of his little sister, and the dad would come in and he'd take care of the little sister, and he'd take over for the son, and
you remember all of that
family atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I want to if we could, I just want to donate this this talk to my sister Omotayo. Was her name? She passed away about 2 years ago, and one of the things that that happened is that it shows that if you just love someone unconditionally, she showed us how to be able to love each other.
Wow.
And my father, my mother, and my brothers and my sisters together, we learned how to love with a sense of compassion and support and love. So yeah.
Woo! That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. We know that, well, if you don't know, ministry starts in the home. It starts with the family, and then it expands out. So thank you for dedicating this show to your sister, because we said we wanted to do that. So thank you so much for doing that. Well, you know, Malcolm, this is not your first book.
Right.
So which number is this?
So this is the second book. I'm actually working on a third book right now, but my first book was called To Live, To Create, To Inspire. And it's pretty much a personal memoir journal of my life, being homeless, being at-risk youth, being a creative individual, being an entrepreneur. It's my contribution to the world of just sharing my personal story of what I've been able to go through. And one of the main reasons why I produced this book is because I travel all across the country, going into schools, working with organizations that work with young people, and young people need to see heroes and other people that went through rough times. I call it being vulnerable, but it builds value. So this was like the first book was a tool to be able to build value in other people's lives.
Wow, that's powerful. And you know what I always believe in, and I also talk about it, is that, you know, it's not really all about how you begin, it's how you end.
Yes.
You see? And, you know, you can either take it and turn it around, your situation, and make it a positive outcome, or you cannot.
Right.
But that's why it's very important for each of us to get back. You never know who you're helping along the way. And now Reverend Green means remember years ago. And, you know, it's just, you never know if I just helping one person at a time.
Right.
And there's individuals that you along the way. So now you got this other fantastic book that's coming out. When will it be completed?
The new book, the book that I just finished up is called The Art of Success, The 10 Steps to Transform Your Life. So this book is the book right here that is the actual stepping stones, like actual jewels and tools that I've been able to use in my life, and other great mentors, how I've been able to go through the trials and tribulation. Because what happens is just like even on this show, people want to engage and people want to ask questions and people want to know how they can be able to, you know, success is a roadmap. So we want to be able to just mimic other different traits. My thing is I'm a creative individual. I'm not really into sports, but I study, you know, Michael Jordan and some of the greats, because I realize that success is a roadmap, and if I'm a copy and paste kind of guy, you know.
Miss Jennifer, get you a drink of water. We're going to do a commercial, and you get a drink of water. We'll be right back after these recorded messages.
To provide our community an online community calendar titled "What's Going On."
I just know when I seen you, man, I just had to
I didn't know until you started when you said Airbus.
Yeah.
Then it quit.
Date, time, and location.
Yeah. How long ago was your
sister?
She was 32. Yeah, they told her back in the day when my father started, he created a whole health wellness program for her, and he taught us at a young age. And instead of putting tubes in there and IVs,
This was 14 years ago when I was there. And I still have mine.
Wow.
It's red. I don't even
yeah, it was the Coca-Cola, but it said, I think it said Jesus, or what did it say?
Coca-Cola, something about, that's what I think it was. But the name of the church was Another Chance.
Okay.
That you wrote on the back.
Right.
But on the front, I think something goes best with cold.
Right.
Man, I couldn't remember when I saw it. And I'm just now, we're 14 years later. And we're still a small ministry.
Right.
But we were getting ready to get some more church. I said, well, there's a place on North Avenue. We're still there.
Yeah.
And here you are traveling all over the world.
Yeah, I'm living in Missouri now. Let me see if I got one in my car.
You still doing airbrushing?
Yeah, I'm teaching and doing airbrushing. Yeah.
Well, how's your dad doing?
He's doing great. He's down there with me. He's still screen printing. We just never slowed down. We just left here and went down there and took the business. And we just moved it all on the internet and all of that.
Yeah. Writing books now.
Writing books, speaking. One of the things I'm gonna talk about a little bit. I come up here. I have a daughter here, so I come up every month because I'm spending time with her. It's her birthday today, so she's shopping right now while I'm doing it.
Or home. What's this fine
She don't mind spending my money. She just
At Associated Bank, we want to preserve that sentiment through every phase of homeownership.
I would definitely give you my information. She got my wallet. That's what I just realized. She got my wallet.
We'll help guide you every step of the way.
They know.
So you can focus on other things, like picking out the perfect welcome mat.
Yeah, this is
Call
beautiful. I love this the new station, man. They did remodeled everything.
Associated Bank,
How long you
member
been
FDIC, equal
10
housing
years
lender.
now.
Okay, because
Have you been looking for that extra special gift and just don't seem
Right.
to be able to
Where
find
you at
it?
on Titanium?
You need to
Right on the
stop by
corner.
Powers Jewelry
Titanium
at
and
301
20th
East
Street,
Wisconsin
right?
Avenue.
Okay.
They are
Right
a
down.
family-owned business
Wow.
with a large selection of
Wow.
antique jewelry,
in the whole building,
fashion
downstairs
jewelry,
and upstairs.
engagement
But the
rings,
studio
and
was
wedding
upstairs.
bands.
Wow.
All
And
at
then we moved over
unbeatable
here.
prices.
Okay.
There's an extensive inventory of loose GIA certified diamonds with GIA
About
trained
almost
staff.
10 years.
So
Where
stop
at
by
over here?
Powers Jewelry
If you go right down
today at
the street,
301
it's the old
East
building, so you got
Wisconsin
WNOB
Avenue.
road
It's
on
a
it.
Okay.
very low
It's right on the
pressure
corner next door to
environment,
the
and they
store.
also
You know
buy
Lee and
gold
Son
and
Trading
diamonds.
is?
Yeah.
Right over there.
Okay. Right on.
Well, we're back, and here's the cutest talk show host in the country, Miss Jennifer.
You are too much. I just love you, Reverend Green. And again, thank you so very much for standing in for me in Milwaukee. I hope you are enjoying this as much as I am. Malcolm, you just so full, brother. I just feel like I know I'm gonna have you on again because you are just so much information and so much to share. But I do want to let Milwaukee know about a job opportunity. It's over at Nails by Alice. That's 4680 West Bradley Road. If you are a nail professional technician and you're looking for the opportunity to be your own boss, they have an opportunity for you. Again, that's over by Nails by Alice. The number to call is 357-8188. Let me give you that number again. It's 357-8188. That's Nails by Alice. Be your own boss and give Alice a call. And speaking of entrepreneurship, right, Malcolm?
Right. Entrepreneurship is the key.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now I can hear
Yes,
you. We're talking about entrepreneurship, right?
Entrepreneurship is the key.
Entrepreneurship opportunity. You know, I'm trying to say, I don't know about, some of these other people, but I got to get my nails done.
Right.
We need some professional people that can do it timely and got some great design. So give Alice a call. Now, I want to jump right on in because time is definitely going by. And again, like I said, I will have you on again. Let's talk about your 10 steps to success, okay?
All right.
And, all right, so we talked about the first book, we talked about the second book. So now I'm going to hit these 10 steps, and you're going to explain them to us. These are the 10 steps that you personally used to fulfill your goals and objectives. And so, therefore, if you use them, you already know what's worth.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
And everything is built around, some Milltown love. So one of the things that I do, I really want to focus in on just making sure that I'm giving the information to the people here in the city, because I'm from here. I love my city. I support everybody here, and I want nothing but greatness. So hopefully the people can be able to use these tools to be able to help and change their lives as well.
So we're talking about some Milltown love. I like to call it MKE, right?
Yes.
But you know what? We are a national show. So we do have people in Charlotte, California, Dallas, Texas that do listen and call in. So we ain't trying to block nobody. Wherever you at, but we're just giving out our hometown some love, right?
Right on.
For one, be clear and know what you want.
Yes. So I want to go ahead and stop. I'm going to start off with the first one, which is passion. So passion is the fuel for our own personal success. So you want me to go into a little details with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to follow your list.
Okay.
And your list is, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so passion, one of the things that I realized is that all of these different techniques and tools are tools that I have personally used, and then techniques and tools also that I've learned in my life through great mentors. So passion is one of the things that I have a lot of people that come to me for training and coaching, and it's one of those things that a lot of times we don't really understand what our passion is. So when you start talking about success, when we get to talking about, entrepreneurship, when we get to talking about making money out here, we have to understand that the passion is the number one thing, because if you don't enjoy what you do, ain't nobody going to pay you for it. You know what I mean?
Right. So in other words, so what we're looking at right now, because I was on the 10 steps, but you up here by the table of continents. So I'm just going to roll on up here, Milwaukee.
Okay.
We're going to do the table of continents, because a lot of people, they don't know how to find their passion, but they chasing money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's so easy to get wrapped up into the money, and then one day you look up and then you realize, you asking yourself why you doing what you're doing. Because you done lost the passion, you done lost the reason. I call it your why, your reason why you doing it. One of the techniques and the tools that I teach, and one of the techniques and the tools that I use in my life is passion is something that you can do every day, whether somebody was paying you or not.
Right on. So passion will help you find your purpose.
Exactly. Passion is the fuel. It's the thing that gets you up early in the morning. It's the thing that keeps you there, grinding late in the evening. It's the thing that kind of gives you that edge. So that's the difference between people who are like, all right, I'm successful, but they might not be passionate at what they do. And that's why you see some people frustrated, some people looking for different job situations because they didn't lost their passion.
Wow. Well, let's talk about vision.
So vision is to see beyond your current situation or circumstance. So one of the things that I always reflect on, even having a business here, being born and raised in Milwaukee, one of the things that I had an issue with is my vision was a lot of times bigger than my local environment. So when we say vision is be able to see beyond your current situation or environment or situation or problem. A lot of times people get so wrapped up, it's like, you wake up in the morning, you didn't stump your toe or something. Now you didn't got a full bad day, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
You didn't went to the negative perspective. What vision does is it keeps your focus. It gives you a sense of a bigger picture of what you want to be able to do in life. I say, like, you can't see the bigger picture if you're inside of the frame. So vision helps you be able to see your bigger picture.
Hold up. You cannot just go by and say that. You got to repeat yourself, brother. Say that again.
You say, bring it back. Okay. So you can't see the full picture when you're inside of the frame. You can't see the full picture when you're inside of the frame. Sometimes you got to stop. You got to step out of the picture so you can be able to see the full vision. When we're talking about entrepreneurship, when we're talking about dreamers, when we're talking about writers, when we're talking about musicians, when we're talking about anybody who has a dream, a vision, something that they want to be able to succeed in life, the vision is the key, because if you lose the vision, then you lose your way.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
If you lose the vision, y'all better listen.
Y'all can go ahead and write them down. They should be hashtagging and everything. Yes.
I mean, I can't do Facebook Live. I forgot to tell people. I'm so sorry. Some emergencies came up, and I couldn't do Facebook Live. But y'all better be hashtagging this.
Yes,
if you
yes.
lose the vision, you what?
You lose. If you lose the vision, you lose your purpose. You lose your success.
How do we keep the vision before us then?
So a lot of times, one of the things that I teach is I teach creating a vision board. Some people have heard about it, some people haven't. You can call it a vision board, you can call it a dream board. So for instance, like we just had January 2018, the beginning of the year. 2017, the last end of the year, I'm already getting my visions, my ideas, my goals, the things that I want to be able to accomplish in 2018. So what I do is I go online, I find different snippets, I find motivational images, I find things that align me up, because every morning I realize that I have to create tools in my life to constantly make sure that I'm aligned with my vision. So I wake up in the morning, when I'm at my office, I'm looking at my vision board, making sure that I'm aligned up with my full perspective of things that I want in life. So that's one of the techniques.
Awesome. That's awesome. You know, and what I try to do and everything is I love, it just slipped my mind, but I love to purchase, like motivational, artwork.
Exactly.
You know, and I have them put all around my home.
Right.
Like when, over my bed, it says, she believed she could, so she did it. I'm like, you better say that, girl. On the side, I'll be like, just a boss lady building her empire.
Hey now.
You have to surround yourself around with positive affirmations. That's the word. So everywhere I go in my kitchen, I got, all things are possible.
Right.
With who? With God.
Yes,
you got to talk to yourself. There's a song I like to sing all the time. It's called Sometimes You Got to Encourage Yourself. So I get you. Now the next one was, how do you build a successful mindset?
So one of the main keys that I realized in my success is trying to reprogram the nonsense that goes on in my head. And we always sometimes have negative triggers, negative people, negative things that can kind of come in and shift our mindset. So when I say successful mindset, it's built around 5 different basic structures. And the structures are: believe you'll succeed. That's number 1. A lot of times people don't even believe they're going to make it. So that's why one of the main reasons they don't make it. Number 2 is overcome one obstacle at a time. When you trying to fight for your dreams, when you are focused in on creating something that's incredible and something that's dear to your heart, you have to understand that you got to take one fight at a time. You can't put all the fights all on your plate all at one time. You got to be able to deal with one obstacle, one problem, one situation at a time. Because if you don't, what'll happen is that all this stuff will build up, and you'll be looking at it like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that, I got to do that, and it'll overwhelm your mind. Your mind is like a computer. So just like a computer, it will crash if you overproduce it, and you don't got the right structure, and you ain't got the right techniques. It'll overload the system. So just like your mind, you have to be able to make sure you deal with one thing at a time.
So how would a person, an entrepreneur or somebody that's striving to change careers or change things in their life, give like an example of how they may put what type of things would they put on that's too much on their plate? So,
sometimes what I hear a lot of times is, when I'm dealing with my students, I hear a lot of times is that I got to do this. It's like, you're not really actually writing down the obstacles and the issues. A lot of times people are carrying these obstacles and these issues around in their head, but they're not spending the time to be able to write them down. So what I do is I'll write them all the way down. I teach my students to be able to write down all the problems. I look at the pros and the cons, and I focus in on what's the most important at that moment in time. So I'll write them all out. I look at all the problems. I'm one of them type of people that are I'm a very deep thinker. And I'll write all the problems out, because a lot of times when they're in your mind, they don't really make sense. Sometimes when you can just write them out, you can be able to see how you can be able to create structures and things and tools in your life to be able to help you overcome these obstacles.
I love that. You prioritize them,
Yes.
and what you can see. And the Bible tells you, write it down and make it plain. And then you can see what's before you, and you can see what you need to attack first. I love it.
Yes.
You have, is this compete?
Yeah, you want to be able to only compete with yourself. I totally understand, and I'm a totally hardcore grinder. I'm one of them individuals, I'm grinding and I'm working and so on. And I do still have a notion of competing with other people and competing with the industries and so on. But one of the things that I realize is that a lot of times we can get so wrapped up with competing with everybody else. We can get so wrapped up with looking at somebody else's life. We can get so wrapped up at looking what other people have been able to obtain that we don't really understand that the fight is not with other people, but the fight is with inside ourselves. So when you start looking at different things that you want to be able to overcome, instead of looking external. Okay, instead of looking at external problems, external issues, and external solutions, let's look internal. Let's see what we can possibly do to kind of shift our mindset, shift our environment, shift the people we around, shift what we eating, how we taking care of our health, because all of these things make our tools that can be negative tools or positive tools in our road to success. So you want to just compete with yourself, not other people.
I love that, because when I read that, I'm like, compete. We want to compete with other people. And I said, but you know what? We can be our own worst enemy.
Yes, ma'am. So,
we have to, look within ourselves and see what's going on. I love it. So compete with yourself, not with other people. Study. I'm a lifelong learner. What do you mean by study?
So, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as a creative individual, as a serial entrepreneur and a business person, what I realized is that I had great mentors always throughout my life that was able to set the foundation. But I was lacking certain things. I was lacking some other perspectives of business. Every time I grow my business, every time that I'm looking for another business opportunity, every time that I'm even creating artwork, I'm looking for other people or other solutions or situations that are kind of aligned up with my situation. So I study great people. Like I said, I'm not hardcore into sports, but I study greatness. So I'm always one of my favorite quotes is from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan talks about, it was a commercial that Nike put out, and the commercial was built around him saying, "I apologize for making it look easy. I apologize for making it look easy because y'all didn't see the 200 extra shots that I stayed after training to be able to make sure I get my form. You guys didn't see the extra laps that I ran." So I realized that to be able to be great, you have to study great people and align yourself up. Because I realized, and I know this in my heart, that greatness leaves clues. Greatness and success leaves clues. So we have to always make sure that, I look at one of my great mentors is John Johnson. Never met the man. Brother died years ago, but he was a great entrepreneur. So I study his techniques, his ways, his mindset, so I can be able to apply certain things in my life as well. Why copy or recreate the wheel when we can be able to copy and paste and keep it moving?
Wow. Malcolm, you're going to make me get on the phone. Brother, you gonna make me get on a plane and get this. If I could, I would.
Hey,
you are dropping the mic today. You gotta promise me that you're coming.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back in full flex mode.
Dude, and I believe, you were saying that you have to. I believe in being a lifelong learner, like we were just talking about. But I know what you were saying, and I love that. Now I'm gonna have to go check out Mike, okay? But you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the result.
Right.
Too many, not everybody. I take that back. I'm sorry, but too many people want the results, but don't want to do the work.
Hey, now.
And what you're saying is that you study, you have relationships with people. You study what it took for them to get where. And you surround yourself around great people so you can get some of their greatest. And did you say that it leaves clues?
Yes, it leaves little clues.
And start picking up some of the clues and being all around you. But if you ain't in the right place in the right time, you ain't getting it.
Right, exactly.
Part of being in the right place in the right time is listening to the Off the Shelf Book Club on Friday, so you can get this great information. And I just want you to plug right quick, where can they get the book from?
Okay, you can go to my website, malcolmmccrae.com. That is MALCOLM MCCRAE.com. You can order the book directly from me, or you can go to Amazon and you can order it as well through Amazon.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Now, Reverend Green, you let me know when we got to go to another break now, okay?
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. Well, 2 minutes. I want to just read these down right quick. We're not going to be able to cover them. Then we're going to come back, and we got to touch on failure because this is so important. So let's just read down the rest of it. We got value, mentorship, courage, goals, consistency, entrepreneurship, and leadership. So, only thing I want you to say before we go to break is courage.
So, courage, overcome adversity. Don't take no for an answer. You have to be able to have courage to fight for your dreams. It takes courage to be able to be the ultimate you. It takes courage to be able to fight for your vision. It takes courage to be able to wake up in the morning and say that today is going to be your day. So courage is one of the things that is so deep. It's one of the things that we have to have every day within inside of our hearts, because that's the fighting spirit within inside of all of us. So you gotta have courage. You gotta have courage to have this radio show. You know, have courage to be able to do this thing.
You better tell the truth. It takes a lot of courage because you know what? Sometimes it can get so discouraging. But I got to keep my eye on the purpose.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about this because, first of all, I love empowering people. I love supporting people. I love authors. And reading is fundamental. It's so important. And you know what else is important? Paying bills. So, let's get ready to take us to break. So we need to pay some bills. You are listening to Off the Shelf Book Club. I'm Jennifer Washington, and I am with my friend, my guy, Malcolm McCrae. We'll be right back.
WNOV, The Voice, is proud to provide our community an online community calendar titled What's Going On? Yes, to have your event posted, all you have to do is send an email into myevents@WNOV860.com with name of the event, date, time, and location. Just that simple. WNOV, The Voice, is proud to finally give our community a place centrally for community events. So send those emails to myevents@WNOV860.com. The calendar will be located on www.WNOV860.com website. Management will have the final approval on what can and cannot be posted.
Yes.
Carter Creations. When quality and service matters for any occasion, sometimes you just want to send a floral arrangement for a get well, anniversary, birthday, I messed up, or just because. Carter Creations at 1727 West Hampton Avenue is the place you need. So call today at 414-265-1727 or visit them online at cartercreations.com. Carter Creations has been in business for over 30 years. Therefore, you know they know what they're doing. They also specialize in funerals as well. So when you need that special floral arrangement, think of Carter Creations. When quality and service matters.
Sprecher's six-pack of music under the dome. Triple I Shrine Center, 3000 West Wisconsin Avenue. Friday, March 30th, 2018. Featuring national recording artist Lonnie Gibbons.
When I first met you, baby, you were so doggone fine. It was love at first sight, just happened to make you mine.
It's Lonnie Gibbons, also known as Mr. Blues. Tickets are $20 and are available at eventbrite.com and at the box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. and showtime is 7 p.m.
And I just might leave tonight.
Lonnie Gibbons, the One Nation, and yes, me, your host, Mr. Debo, is Sprecher's six-pack of music under the dome at the Triple I Shrine Center, 3000 West Wisconsin Avenue. Friday, March 30th, 2018. Get your tickets now.
We are back with the one and only Miss Jennifer Washington McMurray.
Thank you, and welcome back, Milwaukee. You are listening to Off the Shelf Book Club. My special guest in the studio is one of these great I can say that, and I'm sure you can say that as well, Mr. Malcolm McCrae. Malcolm, thank you so much for being with us again.
Oh, no problem. I'm honored to be here.
And we were talking about the importance of entrepreneurship and focusing and what it is to be a great success. So, again, I just want to let you all know that Nails by Alice, they have an opportunity for you. You want to be your own boss, have your own booth, give Alice a call. She's at 357-8188. That's 357-8188. She's located right over there in Brown Deer at 4680 West Bradley Road. If you're a nail tech, got special skills, we are looking for you. This is your opportunity. Give Alice a call at 357-8188. So, Malcolm, we have to hit failures before we go. Because you can have the best plan. You can have the best plan in the world. But if you're still missing some elements and even some plan Bs, or even having the fear to fail, then you're not going to be a great success. So we have 10 things that's listed here. Can we go through some of them?
Yes, definitely.
All right, the first one you have listed is a lack of definite purpose, goal, or vision.
Definitely. So the main thing is that, you know, a lot of times people I call them excuses. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm a coach. So I'm always telling my students, you know, you got to be able to make sure that you're not setting yourself up mentally. So a lot of times what happens is we allow fear to be able to control and make decisions in our lives. You know what I mean? I have a great mentor of mine, and one of his quotes is that we only are born with two fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Everything else we done made up. So yes. So we always have to make sure that we're not making decisions. We're not making critical decisions built around fear. I deal with a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young people, and one of the things that I realize is that they all have a tendency to be able to make decisions out of fear, and that's where the pressure and all of those things kind of come out in life. So we just got to make sure that we're not making decisions out of fear. Once we kind of feel that pressure coming on, a lot of times what I do is I kind of step back a little bit, just kind of understand and look at, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? And then now if that does happen, what can I do to kind of counteract that? And once I kind of get it out of my mind, I'm fearless. I can be able to move forward.
It's kind of like we said, the lack of ambition to move past mediocrity.
Exactly.
You know, you got to have strong ambition. You have to be fearless. You got to move past it. Otherwise, you're going to be standing in the same sentence. You know what I mean, right?
You're going to be stuck like Chuck, as they say.
Like Chuck. Wait a minute. My girlfriend husband name is Chuck. We ain't talking about
We ain't talking about you, Chuck. Chuck, you got it going on.
What about overcoming a negative mental attitude?
So a lot of times, you know, we have to be conscious. That's the main thing. All of this is built around consciousness and also reprogramming your subconscious mind. So, you know, before you go into a situation, you want to be able to make sure that you're looking at all the positive opportunities, all the positive things. You have to see yourself accomplishing these things. So, you know, a lot of times, what as an author, as an artist, as a creative individual, I'm my own worstest critic. And you have to just be very sure that this is your goal, this is your vision, this is part of your personal journey, and just stay true to yourself and not allow fear to be able to come in and waggle or mess up your foundation of truth.
And what about negative people around you?
Ooh, you're going to have haters now. You're going to have them haters.
Not just talking about haters, because I would say haters, but we're talking about like negative people who have strong impact in your life that can make you doubt yourself and not try to achieve. What do we do with those individuals?
So a lot of times when we, you know, even when we're talking about haters, a lot of the times, you know, these are people who really admire you. You know, they're really admiring you, and you know they don't really know how to communicate that. So when we get to talking about making sure that we have positive people in our life and leaving the negative people, hey, you just gotta be real. You gotta cut some people. Some people might not just be right in your journey, specifically as you're growing in life. Nothing stays the same. So you want to be able to make sure that you're around steel sharpens steel. You want to be able to make sure that you're around great quality people, because the people that you're around reflect on who you are as an individual. So be very cautious. You might be around somebody asking them for advice. They giving you all this negative advice, and you trying to figure out why you got this negative chip on your shoulder.
Right. Exactly. You like, where that come from?
Where that come from?
And again, like we tell our kids, you are who you hang around with.
Yes.
I tell adults that too. You are who you hang around with, and stuff. And you wonder why certain people like to hang around, people who are positive and ambitious and energetic, and that's because you get good vibes from them. You be feeling like you can fly and stuff too. So that's the type of people you want to hang around, hanging around, and who you want to be around as well. Now this is a huge one: lack of self-discipline. Procrastinators. What we do? How do we overcome? The lack of self-discipline.
So this is all my people who were supposed to be in the gym, who got the gym membership in January, and then ain't been back. So, one of the things that, those are all the tools that we got to use to be able to make sure we self-motivated. That's part of success mindset, is that at times you're going to have to dig deep within inside yourself and create the different tools in your life. And it's going to be built around things that you might not want to do all the time. So the consistency is just like working out. It's just like anything else. When you're working out, you're constantly building and breaking down that muscle. So as time goes on, and the more that you kind of stay consistent with it, the more that the muscle can be able to build more hardier and heavier muscle. So in life, it's the same thing. You have to be able to make sure that you stand consistent, making sure that you hold yourself accountable, and also it doesn't hurt to have accountability partners around as well. Other people around you that can hold you accountable as well.
Yes. Teamwork, extreme work.
Yes.
Sure, having a strong team around you to help you focus. Self-discipline, like everything really basically writing stuff down, having positive affirmations and stuff around your vision board, positive people that hold you accountable, and do what you say you're going to do, and be consistent at it, and that just helps to build discipline. I'm going to skip over this one because I'm going to get to the next one. We do have lack of creative imagination. But then number 6 is the use of race, sex, or circumstances as an excuse.
Yes. My father, I got to give him love for that. He always taught us that excuses. I think he ended up getting this quote. I don't know where he got it from, but this is a quote that he's been telling me, my brother, and my sister as we was younger. Excuses are everlasting monuments that build nothingness. So, we have to make sure, me and my father, we have a thing that we use as a tool all the time, like no excuses. So whether it's a business deal that you invested in and it just didn't go right, no excuses. If it was a relationship with somebody that just didn't go right, no excuses. If it was, somebody that you might have trusted and they might have did something bad, no excuses. You have to come in and realize that the more that you are determined, the more that you are focused to be able to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable and making sure that you did everything that you can possibly do. That's one of the things that I use as an entrepreneur, as a tool to be able to make sure that I can sleep at night. Is I ask myself when things go negative or things go a different route from what I planned, I ask myself, I said, did I do everything I could possibly do? Yes, I did. All right, no excuses. And hold myself up to that. So
the racism is huge. It's definitely, out there. Are you telling us, but you can't use race as an excuse either?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm doing research around African Americans before the Civil War. And the research that I'm doing is built around remembering our ancestors and remembering the ones who had it harder than us. So when we talking about race, when we talking about the different things that we have to go through as individuals, as a people, women, men, young to old, these things are all things that aren't new underneath the sun, and people have been able to overcome them in the past. So the history, the history reminds us. It gives us a sense of hope, because we can reflect and say, you know what? Even though if it's a racial situation, my ancestors 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 50 years ago went through a lot worse. And what can I do in my life with all the resources that I have to be able to be the end dream? That's one of my prayers every day, is that, to be the dream that our ancestors fought so hard for.
Wow, and we at least owe them that. You know what I'm trying to say? So you're absolutely correct. Well, you have some other ones that we're not going to be able to go through, but I'm going to say what they are. You have lack of faith in one's dream. That is so huge. I'm going to have to let you hit that one. Hit me right quick on lack of faith, real quick.
So faith is the tool that most successful individuals use, because guess what? This is your dream. This is your vision. This ain't nobody else's dream and vision. This ain't nobody else's life. So you have to always be able to make sure that within inside that the faith kind of keeps the blood flowing. The faith is when you let down and nobody cares about your dream. The faith is that when you sharing your dream with families and friends and other people, and they say, oh, that's crazy, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't focus in on that new job. The faith is that thing that talks to you at night. Faith is that belief that's unconditional. So that's one of the main tools in my life, and a lot of my successful friends, we use faith as a tool, because at times you don't have other people. Sometimes,
that's right. That's right. And as we said earlier, you can't do anything without God.
Hey, now.
So without faith, you can't even please God.
Right.
Okay, so how you figure He gonna help you? Man, have faith. You got ill health as one of the things. We know that health is important. That's why you gotta take care of yourself and be healthy. Get out and get to that exercise and eat and get your checkup. I work for American Cancer Society. Get your screenings done. You also have the lack of persistence and carrying through to the finish.
Hey.
The finish which you start. And the last one we're going to end on is the desire to cheat the process and get something for nothing. You better tell somebody something on that one.
Well, that's that hustle, make money quick kind of mentality. Growing up, a lot of times I've seen guys in the streets, I've seen quick money, but there's nothing quick when it comes to success. So you have to be able to do the legwork. You got to set up the foundation, and you're going to have to, invest some time, energy, money, and what you want to be able to do. So a lot of times we have to just make sure that we are thinking long term, making sure that we are investing in ourselves so we can be the ultimate version of ourselves.
Wow. Woo! I hope y'all got all this, because this was a full show. Malcolm, you coming back.
Hey, no.
So again, where they can get the book from?
You can go to my website, malcolmmccrae.com. That's MALCOLMMCCRAE.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Malcolm McCrae. Just Google me. You'll be able to find me. And then on Amazon, all of my books are available on Amazon as well. I have a special.
Something coming up?
I have something special coming up. I just released today a motivational mix that I want to be able to give everybody for free who listening in. Go to my website today, malcolmmccrae.com. I have the Art of Success, the Blueprint. It's a motivational mixtape that I'm gonna give away for free for everybody who's been listening in today.
Wow, Malcolm, thank you so much, my young brother. You are such a I appreciate being with me today on my show, Off the Shelf Book Club. Thank you for living out your purpose and making an impact in everyone's life. Thank you, my brother.
My pleasure, and thank you. And I just want to give a special shout out to my daughter, Zakia McCrae. She just turned 16 today. She's here.
That's right. Happy birthday. And Reverend Green, I want to thank you. I know you have on something sharp today. I know you do.
He looking fly.
I know he looking fly. I know
Miss Jennifer, Miss Jennifer, I want you to remember to never take directions from someone who's never been where you're trying to go.
You better free.
I'm learning. I'm hanging with you. I'm learning.
You always got something there. I thank you for that word too, and you know you're right. Milwaukee and everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show today. It has been my pleasure. I am Jennifer Washington McMurray, and I serve as your host for Off the Shelf Book Club from JWM Productions. I want you to remember to take your dreams, not the money. Hold big and keep the faith, and don't forget to give back. Until we meet again, much love, success,